Okay, guys, let's do this. Are you ready? So, welcome again to today's masterclass, which is how to easily land dream clients and £1,000 day rates, or let's make that four-figure day rates, depending on where you live, if you're not in England. I know it's a clickbaity title. I'm not naive about that. The thing with these titles, it's difficult to kind of dilute everything that you do, everything you teach, the results that you get people, everything you're about into one sentence. But this is what I kind of hit on because these are the goals that I had consistently throughout the earlier days of my career when I was trying to figure out how to get to where I am now. And they're the goals I kind of move my students towards. And then see them achieve when they put things into practice. I say easily, again, I'm not kidding myself. I'm not telling you that this is going to happen for you tomorrow morning when you wake up, but easily is compared to the way that I did it. What I teach is everything I've learned over 15 plus years in the industry. And I spent a lot of those years struggling, making mistakes, not knowing how to get from one stage of my career to the next, not knowing how to achieve the goals that I had. And eventually I got there, but I got there by struggling, like I say, making mistakes, so on. It was a very slow and convoluted route. And I don't want that for you. So what I teach is a kind of clear roadmap covering all of the steps and stages that you need and the kind of tips and tricks, the things that you may not realize about this industry, because it is quite strange the way that it works. And it's not usually written down anywhere or handed out anywhere as information, especially not on a lot of courses, but that's another story. So anyway, that is what I teach. And so by easily, I mean that instead of taking however long it took me to get here, I feel like if I had had this course when I started, I would have got to where I am now in a third of the time. And I'll show you some results later from different students, but that is the kind of result that I see. And these are the aims that my students have. And this is where I help them to get to. So does this sound like you? Are you starting out in the industry, but are confused about where to even begin? And you want a roadmap for your makeup career? Or because students come to me at all different stages and this course is designed to meet you where you are. So you've been a makeup artist for a while now, but you feel stuck and frustrated and you want to make real progress towards your goals. Or perhaps you feel like your career is going in the wrong direction and you want to take back control. Are you dying to feel greater financial security to earn a living that allows you to live the life you love? Because I am very much somebody who thinks we should work to live, not live to work. You're dying to get the recognition you've worked so hard for. This is so frustrating for so many artists because you know that you have the skills and those skills are not translating into the career that you know you deserve. As I say, to get bookings that excite you and pay what you deserve as well. And you're dying to achieve your goals, to have the type of career that you'd hoped you'd have when you started out in this industry. This isn't the right class for you if you want to work in, or you do work in, film and TV makeup. And by that, I mean sort of scripted film and TV, movies, dramas, soaps, that kind of thing. I do work in TV. The side I work in, though, is like, your chat shows or like X Factor, kind of Strictly Come Dancing, that side of things, because that falls more into the celebrity side, because my speciality is fashion, celebrity, commercial, and also some private clients. And I used to do bridal as well, if bridal is more your kind of vibe. So I just don't like to mislead people because the two sides of the industry are so separate, so different in almost every way. I have had numerous students who do work in that side of the industry and who say that what they learn on the course has absolutely helped them and has been relevant in many ways. But I just don't like to put it out there in a misleading way that is my specialty. It's not. I am fashion, celebrity, commercial, private clients. It's not the right class for you if you want to be an influencer. I am not an influencer. I've never tried to be one. The vast majority of working makeup artists are not influencers. We'll speak later about like the crossover between the two and the difference between a makeup influencer and what I call a professional. I never know what language to use because it sounds like I'm being shady. I'm not. I just need a word for people who are just out there in the industry working. So I call it like a professional makeup artist, a pro makeup artist. But we'll speak about the difference. But yeah, if you are wanting to be somebody who kind of does makeup on your own face and gets loads and loads of followers, and then that's kind of how you make your living, that's not what I teach. I teach about getting out into the industry and working on different jobs day after day. And it isn't the right class for you if you want a quick fix. Like I said, this isn't going to be overnight. I give you the steps and the information that you need in order to get to where you want to go, but that does take work. It definitely speeds up the process. Again, I'll speak about some students later and their kind of success stories, but yeah, if anything, makeup artists are tenacious and hardworking. So it's not a quick fix. You've got to do the work, but I'm going to give you the information that you need to do that. So today's class, you are going to learn the way I've broken it down. So I'm not just bombarding you with information, is I talk about 3 makeup artist myths. So that is like 3 common mistakes and myths that I see makeup artists buying into that have a kind of a detrimental effect on their career. And then I'm going to teach you what you should be doing instead. I'm going to tell you about the Make It method, which is my 4-step method for makeup artists that I teach in the course that take you from where you are now to where you want to be. Then there is a special last chance discount. The course had a low price online during COVID, and I've always said that I'm going to be moving it back to its full price, and I do that incrementally. So the next price rise is happening tomorrow. So this is your midnight. So this is your last chance to get it at the low price it's currently at. And then we're going to end with a live Q&A. So any questions you have as you go, obviously I'll be in the chat box, so I'll be taking note of those. So feel free to drop them there and then stay to the end and we'll have that chat. Okay. So, oh yes, don't forget to spread the love. I say I'm not an influencer, but I'm not adverse to social media. You can find me at The Business of MUA. I would love it if you shared any sort of revelations or whether you're enjoying the class or any screenshots and so on as you go. That would be beautiful. So this is me. I'm Lucy. Hello. You may already know who I am if you've been following me on social media, but if not, either way, I have, as I said, 15 plus years in the industry. I work in fashion, celebrity and commercial makeup, and I'm represented in London by Frank Agency. Some examples of my work for you, because as a makeup artist, it's a very visual thing. So you can see I do fashion and beauty and so on. I have a slightly kind of commercial sort of take on my editorial work. I'm not completely out there. I'm not Samaya French, you know, but I am creative in my work within the niche that I sit comfortably in. And we'll talk about niches as well. So you can see some of this kind of celebrity stuff I do. I do actresses, I do musicians as well. And there we go. Just some few little bits from my portfolio. These are some of the clients that I've worked with over the years. So editorially, you can see Elle, Days and Views, Stylist, Tatler, etc. TV wise, this is what I was talking about. So I do things like chat shows, Brit Awards. I did like Justin Timberlake's performance for the Brits, and I'll do like various people for red carpet, stuff like that. Strictly Come Dancing, I do Claudia Winkleman's makeup, so I will do that for her. The glow up thing is that each year I am brought in to teach this course to the contestants on the glow up as part of their sort of aftercare for the course, to make sure they're not just, you know, floundering afterwards. Many of them do want to be influencers, but I teach them how to also get out into the industry if they want, and they tend to do the two things kind of separately. So I teach, this is the short version of what I'm about at the Business of Freelance Makeup Artistry. I teach business skills to freelance makeup artists so that they can find success, achieve their goals, make more money, and thrive in a career they love. End of. That's what I'm about. So what would change for you? drop this in the chat box if you were working more often for higher rates and doing work that you truly enjoy. I mean, those things are what we all want. It's nice to do a cool makeup, but at the end of the day, you know, this is a job, it's a career, and we want to be getting paid. So then versus now for me. It's all right for me to talk about where I am now and show you my work and so on, but I didn't start out here. So how did I get from where I was then to where I am now? When I started out, I went to a local college in Manchester. I did a year-long media makeup course. As many of you may know, you don't come out of a makeup course ready to be a makeup artist. I barely knew anything. I went on to work for MAC for a couple of years, but I never wanted to be on a counter. It was an invaluable experience for me, but it was not where I wanted to be. And so eventually I left, and after a year or so, I made it to London. I then started assisting artists. I picked up odd jobs. I worked on some counters. I was doing bridal work and so on. And after maybe 5 years of being in London, I got my first agent. I then was with them for about 3 years. They closed, and then I was solo for a year, and then I ended up with Frank, and Frank was kind of my dream agency, and I've been there ever since. Now, that is the shortest version I could possibly give you. But let me tell you, when I first got to London, I had no contacts. I'm not one of those people who's made it in this industry by knowing the right people. I used to slog for hardly any money. I worked way more then than I do now, because I was having to work every day, sometimes 2 jobs in a day, and they were all super low rates. I didn't know how to get my rates up. I didn't know how to get in touch with better clients. I could barely pay my rent some months. I know what that's like, and I don't want that for anybody, because it felt horrible. And it was frustrating because I knew that I was a good makeup artist, but I couldn't translate that into a successful, happy career. And like I say, I made a lot of mistakes along the way. And by making those mistakes, I learned the kind of strategies that I needed to play this game of makeup artistry, and how to work with clients, how to impress clients, what clients want to see, how to sell myself, how to brand myself as a makeup artist. And all of those things together led to me getting to where I am now. And I don't do smoke and mirrors. So as I say, this is how I got here. On the course, I will talk in much more detail. But when I say I don't do smoke and mirrors, I tell you everything. I am not somebody who believes in holding back information because I think that it benefits me in some way. There is room for all of us. I love seeing my students succeed. I talk about the stuff that other people don't talk about. I talk about money. I give you numbers. I am not shy. So all of this is waiting for you on the other side. But anyway, let's get into the meat and potatoes. So 3 makeup artist myths, 3 things that I see people doing time and time again that are not benefiting their career, but they think they are, and what perhaps they should be doing instead. Number 1, the more makeup I do, the more successful I'll be. Number 1 mistake I see time and time again, and I was guilty of this as well in the early days. You can kind of think that if I do, I mean, these are what I see on people's websites across the top: bridal, SFX, body painting, fashion, grooming, kids makeup, face paint, like every single type of makeup that you could possibly do is on offer there. Now, you may be capable of doing all of those things. I'm capable of doing all of those things. But like any industry, if you want to sell yourself to people, you want them to want to buy what you're selling, you need to brand yourself clearly. Because if I go to a shop, you know, if I want a pair of trainers, I know what I'm going to get if I go into Nike, and I know what I'm going to get if I go into Converse. They both sell trainers, but they have a very set identity. The same thing if I want to go into Primark or go into Selfridges. They sell the same stuff, but it's a very different experience that they're selling and a very different price point. All of these things are not by chance. It's a very specific choice that those brands make, and they market themselves to the people that want what they're selling. That is what we need to do as makeup artists. So in one of the first lessons, I talk about what I call the paths. These are all of the different types of makeup artistry that there are. And there are many, because people often think fashion is just fashion. It's not. There's commercial fashion, there's kind of luxury fashion, there's edgy fashion. Same with celebrity. There's music, there's red carpet, there's all sorts of different niches. And they all come with sort of different styles of makeup as well. And so when you start to finesse what you do, and sometimes that can also mean having almost a split identity. So if I still did bridal, say, I would not have my bridal work on the same website that I had my fashion work on. It's snobbery, I suppose, in a way, from the fashion industry, but that's how it is. They don't want to see that makeup. And similarly, your bridal makeup, people wouldn't want to see like gory special effects, you know. People want to be sold to in a kind of clear, concise way. And so you can think, yeah, by doing all of these things, I'm opening myself up to more work opportunities. But actually what you do is you just cheapen your entire brand, and you'll only get a certain type of client, which is usually the ones who are willing to pay the least money for the smallest jobs. Once you start to finesse your brand and your niche, which I teach you to do, that is when you can start to level up in your career. So this is an exercise because I want to give you something concrete that you can take away. I am not going to read you all of this, but I'll pick out the important parts, because what I want to show you is how you may not even be aware right now. You probably know it deep down, but I have what I like to call an artist statement. So it is for myself how I describe my work. If somebody said to me, what kind of makeup artist are you? I could tell them. And what mine is I focus on clean skin. I mean, it even says it there. Let me pull my screen down. I focus on clean, fresh skin with pops of contemporary color and creativity. That's me. And you can see it in my work here. So let me just take you through the most important parts of this. And you don't have to do this now. You can take this away and figure it out afterwards. But let's say you do currently have a portfolio of some kind. Take a look at it and ask yourself these questions. Does your work have a strong identity? Could someone looking at it describe your style in a sentence? What is your niche as an artist? And what kind of client would look at your book and have to snap you up for their next booking? Now, if your book is all over the place right now and your style is all over the place, when you answer those questions, it may be the answer is no, I don't have a strong identity. But then you want to come back to your book and look at it and say, okay, what work do I love doing the most? What work am I most comfortable doing? What comes to me the most naturally? What work am I best at? What are my goals? And then you can maybe go back to those questions again and answer them again for yourself. So I've said here, if you're not sure of the answers to the above questions, let's break that down a little more. What makeup are you naturally best at? Now, I just mentioned that then, but what I mean is not what makeup do you think is coolest, or what makeup do you feel you should do? Because that often when people start out, we're all just trying to be cool. I know I was. And actually it turned out that my style was a little bit like to the side of that, you know. I can be creative and interesting, but I'm not like, I don't do that ugly, beautiful kind of thing. So it's always in the world of like commercial kind of beauty. So yeah, not what makeup do you feel you should do, but what makeup do you produce your best work doing? And be honest with yourself. Now, this is from a guide that's on the course. I think it is the Build a Portfolio with Purpose guide, which is one of my favorite parts of the course, where you are taught how to, instead of just shooting willy-nilly and just shooting, you know, stuff that you think is fun or whatever, you're shooting stuff that benefits you as an artist and sells you as the artist that you are. And getting this clarity on who that is a great first stepping stone to that. I said on the right, some description examples for other artists, because not everyone is like me, might be my makeups are flawless but wearable. I love to emphasize natural beauty. Or I have a passion for high fashion looks and I love to create red carpet glamour that pushes creative boundaries. Those are just, you know, I looked at a couple of artists online who were different to me, and that was how I would have described their styles. Though these will be infinite. You could have so many different artist statements. And to help you finesse this a bit more, obviously you can fill these in when you have your PDFs in the course online, but these are just bits I've picked out. I say use the space below to begin coming up with your artist statement. Can you start by thinking of 3 words that you feel describe your style? And feel free to brainstorm more than 20 if you can, and then whittle them down to 3 main ones. Think of textures, techniques, how you use color. Is your work light or dramatic? What circumstances does your makeup fit best in? How might other people describe your work? How does it make clients feel? What do your clients value about what you do? What inspires you? What projects would you love more of, and what would you like less of? And can you define why that is? There are so many questions you can ask yourself to get to the root of who you are as an artist and what work you want to be doing more of and what work you do the best. So then once you've got yourself a bunch of words that you feel like describe you as an artist, I want you to write 5 sentences that could describe the makeup you feel most comfortable, happy, and proficient at. And then one of those will leap out to you, and that is your artist statement. You don't have to use this anywhere. This is just for you, you know, but it helps you to get a more solid understanding of who you really are as an artist. You're not just the artist who is the jack of all trades. You will have an identity as an artist, and you may not know what it is yet. And sometimes it takes time to reveal itself. You may not know it right now, and that is fine. It can come over time, but you should come back to this at some point. Okay. So the more followers I have, the more successful I'll be. Myth number 2. Being a makeup influencer didn't even exist when I started out as a makeup artist. And it hasn't really been the monster that it is now before the last sort of, I don't know, 6 or 7 years. If you want to be an influencer, absolutely your followers are vital. If you want to work with brands, they will look at your follower count. However, if you want to be like me, going out into the industry, working on jobs with real clients, they will look at your portfolio. They will not be looking at your followers. They don't care. There are numerous makeup artists at the top agencies in the world who don't even have social media. Okay. So I know it can seem obvious. And I think when I say obvious, it can seem obvious that the way to get ahead is to get a load of followers on social media. That will get you to an influencer status. That will not get you out in the industry working. And if you struggle to get those followers and you're thinking, I'm never going to make it because I can't get my follower count up, put your feet up, stop worrying about that, because it is not how people make it in this industry at all. This is a Venn diagram of something very important. You have pro makeup artists over here, and like I say, no shade intended, I just don't know what else to call it. Pro makeup artists, people who are out in the industry working on different jobs every day with different clients. We're not on camera necessarily, we're not promoting ourselves, we're promoting our work. Then you have your makeup influencers over here. That's the people who often it is about their own face. The work is incredible. There's loads of makeup influencers I follow and think are wonderful. But the fees that they can charge for promoting things, because that is essentially what they do, they are a consumer-based sort of relationship. So they are selling makeup products to the people that are following them. That's not what I do. That's your makeup influencer. And then in the middle, you've got pro makeup artists, influencers. And I think this is where the confusion happens, because there are people like Erin Parsons, Mario Dedovanovic, James Malloy, the list goes on, who are pro makeup artists who are also influencers. They began their careers way before social media, and they had careers already. And then they got into the influencer side of things. If you want to do that, absolutely, there is nothing to stop you. The type of content that they produce is different. Hung Van Gogh is another great example. He's not usually doing makeup on his own face, as opposed to some other influencers. He does it on models and so on. Erin does do it on her own face. It's different. It's a whole new realm. But the idea that you would start your career as an influencer and then take it out into the industry, that's backwards. It doesn't tend to work that way. If you are a pro and you also want to be an influencer, the pro part comes first. This is just some examples for you. So we've got a pro artist on the left, Elias Hove, I think that's how you say his name, He only has 5,000 followers, but he's incredible. He's with one of the top agencies in London, doing super high-end editorial, has been doing for years, way before I even came to London. Very little interest in social media, absolutely incredible career. On the right, you've got an influencer. This is I Am Nostia, 62,000. There's plenty of influencers with way more than that, but that is influencer status. And a great example of the kind of work I'm talking about is makeup's on her own face. It's not necessarily makeup that has any place outside of this. Like if you think of what client is going to come and hire her to do makeup, there might be the odd thing. Someone might go to the Met Gala and be like, I want her to do me a mad look. Or there might be some advertising thing that happens and, you know, they want something like what she's created in the middle there. But it's going to be very hard for her to make a full-on career where she's working regularly with a variety of clients doing this kind of makeup. And then in the middle, you've got Priscilla Ono, who she now works for Fenty, but she was in LA working with celebrities long before that. Nearly coming up to 1 million followers. It's probably gone up since I put this together. A really sellable type of makeup. This works well for pro artist influencers, is the kind of makeup that celebrities want on their faces, you know, so like Hong Van Gogh or like Priscilla, because celebrities follow people on Instagram just like the rest of us do. And they see great makeup and they think, I want that person to do my makeup. Whereas, like I say, the one on the right, super creative and exciting. It's more that kind of glow up side of things, but it's much harder to translate into a career outside of that. Okay, number 3. The more other makeup artists respect my work, the more successful I'll be. This is kind of a light bulb moment that people have during the course. And I was guilty of this as well. It's the idea that you want to be doing your coolest, most creative work and putting that on social media so that other makeup artists will come and be like, oh my God, that's amazing. I wish I'd done that. Or I wish I could do that. Or, you know, that's so inspiring. All lovely things. Like, I like it when other makeup artists like my work, but that's not how you build a career. So if you are creating, you know, like the influencer on the right there, looks that are mind-blowing and technical and, you know, cool and interesting, great. You know, people are going to click like on that, but a client is not necessarily going to hire you for anything. So if you want to be out in the industry, you've got to think about what the clients want to see. You are selling yourself to paying clients. You're not selling yourself to other makeup artists. And that, again, is where, you know, finding your niche at first is helpful, and then building a book that is not about getting those likes and followers, but it's about learning how to sell yourself clearly to the kind of clients that you want to be working with. So making that relationship between your portfolio and those clients match up, and then selling yourself to those clients, not to other makeup artists. The latter is a bonus, but it's not the goal. So 3 strategies that are working instead of those things. Number 1, shooting for your portfolio with purpose. Now, I already introduced you briefly to the Build a Portfolio with Purpose guide. And like I said, it's one of my favorites on the course. Sometimes people skip over it because it's not the most immediately, like, you know, they want to get their claws into it. But usually when people come back to it, once they're actively shooting and working through building their brand visually online, this is vital. What tends to happen is that, especially in the early days, you will shoot anything that comes your way. You'll shoot because you don't want to turn down any opportunities. You'll maybe organize test shoots yourself that you're excited to shoot, and you should always be excited to shoot stuff. Don't get me wrong, I'm never trying to kill people's creativity. What I'm trying to do is kind of funnel it into a method of working that's actually useful to you. And so it's not just creativity for the sake of it. If it was, then it would just be a hobby. It's not, it's your job, it's your career. So what this guide does is, instead of just shooting willy-nilly and hoping for the best and hoping that people are going to look at your work and go, she's a good makeup artist, You need to shoot strategically, because what you have to remember is that your clients are not makeup artists. So often they can't even pick out great makeup from a shoot that isn't reflecting to them what they want to see and what they want to be producing. They need to be spoon-fed a bit more than that. They also can't separate great makeup from great photography and you know, a bad photography even, and a bad model. I do portfolio reviews with students on the course. It's a separate service that I offer. And this comes up time and time again, that I can separate the great makeup out of a crappy picture or a bad model, but clients can't, nor should they have to. You know, they don't have the time to be doing that, and their eye isn't as finesse to it as ours is. So the whole package has to work and reflect back to them what they're wanting. And this doesn't have to be super specific. It's not like, you know, there's only one client out there you want to be appealing to. It's a niche, which can be quite, you know, large. My niche, you know, I work with fashion brands over here that go from kind of designer brands to high street brands. And I work with beauty brands that might go from skincare brands to like a kind of edgy high street brand. But it's all working within my niche. I'm not veering off into super edgy stuff or male grooming, or, you know, people know what they're going to get from me to a degree. So this is the number one thing you need to be doing when you're shooting for your portfolio. Stop wasting your own time and energy. You can come back to this guide, which basically like allows you to figure out who your dream clients are, and then what kind of things they want to see, and then where to find examples of that will inspire your own work and build shoot concepts that will serve you, as opposed to just filling your book with fluff. Number two, think like the client, related to the first point. And also what I was saying about you're not here to impress other makeup artists. You're here to impress the client. Think of a client who, you know, I've been in situations where I've been privy to meetings that say have happened behind the scenes on a big advertising shoot. And my work, images of my work have been plucked from my portfolio and put up into like a big PowerPoint presentation as part of the whole thing of the concept that is being presented to the people, the big fat cats who are paying for the whole production, right? It's not as simple as them just going, oh, she's a good makeup artist, that'll do. There is a lot going on behind the scenes. People are trying not to get fired all the time. So they want to make the right choice for the job. And so that is why you need to reflect back to them what they want to see. So they may want to see work that looks expensive. They might want to see that you're working with photographers who are kind of cool and modern. They want to see contemporary work. You know, they don't want to be having to pick your work out from bad photography, bad styling, etc., etc. They don't want to be coming in and seeing 15 different headings and not know who you are. They can't sell you to their client by doing that. So you need to think about, if you were a fashion director at a magazine, or if you were a creative director from a music video, what would you be looking for in a makeup artist? And then you want to serve that back to them so that they can pick you as the one that they want to work with, so that they can trust you, especially if they've never worked with you before. And number three is look ahead, not side to side. Stop obsessing over what your peers are doing. I know we all know social media is unhealthy to a degree, but the way in which it manifests itself in the makeup industry is that people obsess over what I literally had a conversation with a student about this yesterday. She was saying, all of my peers are doing amazing work and they're progressing and it's just making me feel terrible about myself. And I was like, why are you even following them? You should be getting your inspiration from the levels above you. We all know that social media is a lie. We know, I've had people, when I've had, say, a quiet month or something, say to me, oh, you've been working loads recently. And I think, we're all just living in a fantasy land when it comes to social media. We see the odd post from somebody that's great, and we just make an assumption about their entire career and life from it. And it may be that some of them are having a great time, but also then you're not thinking about all of the peers that you know and the people that you've met who aren't, you know, it just doesn't serve you. It doesn't help you at all. Yes, you want to be following and interacting with people, you know, photographers, stylists, and so on. So through that, you may see other people's work. We can't just block it out entirely, but you shouldn't have it be your focus, certainly. And I will mute anybody. If ever like someone's work pops up and gives me an icky feeling, I just mute them. I don't unfollow people, but I don't need to see it. It just doesn't serve you. There's a post I put up recently talking about what I call the pinball analogy, because people often think that like we come out of the gates at the same time and then it's just like a horse race, like straight down, and whoever wins. That is not how this industry works at all. There is so much chance based. Like wherever you get to is based so much on chance. Put my teeth in. And it's more about, so I always say you have to have skills, obviously, to a certain degree. And those skills will take you to a certain level. Just skills and hard work will get you there. And then the rest of the industry, the heights that you can take it to, so much of that is based on chance and luck. But you can like manifest more luck for yourself by doing certain things. You know, if you just sit in your house and you never do anything, do you think you're going to get those opportunities? No. So there's certain things you have to do in order to manifest more of that luck and those chance encounters for yourself. But still, it's more like my pinball analogy, which is, you know, if you're the ball in the pinball machine, you pull the stopper back and then you go, you're just bouncing off different experiences, meeting different people, doing different pieces of work. The amount of like weird serendipitous stories you hear from people about how they made it to a certain point in this industry or how they started working with a certain client, there's loads of them. So don't get dragged down in other people's work on what other people are doing. Get your blinkers on and look straight ahead and get your inspiration from above, because getting your inspiration from people either side is not going to elevate you anyway. You want to get it from up there. So, like I say, you can spend your days shooting aimlessly, as I once did, trying to get those social media likes and follows from your fellow artists, which is pointless, or sending out emails that repeatedly fall on deaf ears. Again, been there. Or you can get off of that hamster wheel and start building your future in the makeup industry with strategy and direction and start taking real actionable steps towards your goals. That is what I am all about. The business of freelance makeup artistry, my little baby, is what gives you that strategy. So what does it include? Well, I have been teaching this course for over 7 years now. It started at London College of Fashion, and I would just teach it in person. And then over the years, it has been finessed. I've taken what people love the most and what they get the most benefit from and gone into that in more detail. I've got rid of the fluff that people don't need. I've worked out the best way to teach it to you, and so that you can take actionable steps. And I think that online is the absolute best way to get this information to you. It's much better than when I used to teach it in person. It's just much more digestible. You can go through it at your own pace. You can come back to it because you get lifetime access to this. And it's just it's easier to consume in the way that it's given to you online and in the modules and in the different PDFs and the different files and folders and videos and everything that you get in there. Like I say, you've got workbooks, spreadsheets and tools, you've got templates and planners, you've got lifetime access to the coaching. Anything new that's added is yours free of charge. And then step-by-step program, the step-by-step program with 25 video lessons in there as well. The make it method is what I mentioned earlier. That is how I break down this content for you to take you from where you are now to where you want to be. And that has 4 steps, which I call niche it. We've talked about niching, build it, grow it, and then make it. So what does that consist of? Well, module 1, niche it. This is the very foundations of your career going forwards, and something many makeup artists fail to do, as I said, finding your niche. So you discover the many different paths within makeup artistry and then where you fit. You will construct your own artist statement. So we've already talked about that. but this goes into that in much more detail. You have PDFs where you can fill in different bits and make your own notes and so on, with more examples, etc. And then, like I say, so you're able to know your style and create your brand as an artist. You will find out why it's important to do less as a makeup artist, not more. And you will understand how a client sees your work and the major mistake that many makeup artists make with who they try to appeal to. Now, as I've said, we've touched on these briefly. Everything in the course is done to in much more detail with exercises so that you can make it specific to you. And then we move on, module 2, Buildit. So this is when you're building the main tools you need as a makeup artist, your portfolio, your skills, and your kit, the holy trinity. So you're going to find out exactly what you need in a pro kit and how to build one on a budget or even for free. You're going to discover whether you need any further training and how to level up your skills online free of charge. You're going to learn about all of the ways that you can make money from doing makeup alone in the early days of your career. Ever since the day I left college, I have never done anything other than put makeup on faces to make money. I never had to do any bar work or anything like that or take on another job. It's been makeup, makeup, makeup all the way. Begin to build a portfolio that doesn't just look great, but sells your skills to the very clients that you most want to work with. And you're going to learn exactly what to say in your emails to set up dream collaborations with models and photographers. Module 3 is Grow It. So now that the foundations of your makeup career are solid, it's time to take things to the next level and sell those skills effectively. So you're going to find out exactly what to expect on set or on any makeup booking and how best to conduct yourself so that you'll be asked back time and time again. Do you need hair skills? And if so, exactly what do you need to know? You're going to learn how to plan your ultimate pro website in a day and learn to build it yourself in a way that competes with those at the top of their game. The websites that I see people building after going through this module are chef's kiss. Learn about using social media as a working makeup artist and why being a makeup influencer and being a makeup artist, as we touched on, are not one and the same thing. And find out exactly how to get those coveted assisting spots and how best to use them to further your own career. And module 4 is Make It. You're ready to make it, baby. To Fashion Week and way, way beyond, the sky's the limit from here on in. So you've got everything in place and now you can get out there into the industry. You will have already been in the industry before this. Your career will have started way before this point, but this is like the next level part of your career. Learn exactly what to say in your emails and what to do to get and keep your spot on the most exciting Fashion Week teams or get agency representation. I have seen a number of students get agency representation in almost record time recently. I had one student who did the course and she was in full-time employment at that point, didn't really have a book to speak of. And within, I think it was 4 years of doing the course, she had built an incredible portfolio. She'd quit her full-time job. She'd made makeup artistry her full-time career, and then she'd signed to an agent. To do that within 4 years is insane. Find out who's doing the hiring for every type of makeup job imaginable and how to make sure you grab their attention in your emails. You'll discover the foolproof process for negotiating your highest possible rate on every single booking. You'll learn how to master your freelance finances, giving you the financial security that so many freelance artists desperately crave. And you'll complete your own personalized roadmap, leading you step by step from where you are now to achieving your career goals. And who doesn't love some juicy bonuses? That's the main, like I say, the main bones of the course is those 4 modules, but there is plenty more in there. So your pro website in a day planner, that has a value of £167. These values are what I would sell the item for if I was selling it outside of the course, but instead I include everything together. That is another wonderful bonus of me putting this online. That is a guide to building a high-end website from scratch with no website design skills required. You also get your Build a Portfolio with Purpose guide, which I've touched on. That has a value of 197. And that is an in-depth process that teaches you to shoot for your portfolio strategically so that your dream clients will want to work with you. Love that guide. You also get your portfolio template library, again, £197 value. That is it works with Canva. which I also love, and many of you I'm sure are familiar with. And it is a series of templates that I have put together that you can personalize to sell yourself directly to your dream clients. A lot of my students use these in their emails and to great success. They look fantastic. You then get, speaking of emails, your attention grabbing email templates. That's got a value of £97. And you, in those, will find out exactly what to say and what to include with your emails. So that is where the portfolio templates and these email templates kind of interact to get the results that you want. Because there's all sorts of templates in there, from Fashion Week to photographers to model agencies to e-com studios to makeup artist agencies. All of them are in there. And that's not all. You've got your kit list in there, so everything you need for the Ultimate Pro kit with budget and high-end editions. You'll negotiate rates like a boss spreadsheet. This is, I felt like Einstein when I had figured this out. It took a long time, but it works. It's amazing. It's a mind-blowing flowchart that guides you through any fee negotiation to get your highest rate on every job. It's amazing, if I do say so myself. I wish I'd had it in the early days of my career. You've got your Fashion Week focus spreadsheets. They are essential to keep track of who you need to contact to get those Fashion Week gigs and those bookings when they come in. I talk you through all of these things. You're not just handed them and then you have to try and figure it out. There are videos that come with each one that show you exactly how to use them and what you need to do to get the most out of them as well. There is the Ultimate Makeup Artist Rate Guide. This is an expanded version. There is a free version out there. This one has way more information in it. What to charge for any job, and it also includes international rates, overtime, travel days, and more. All of the stuff that is confusing when you're trying to figure out rates. That, used together with your negotiate rates like a boss flowchart, you are sorted. The Ultimate Pro discount list. So every pro makeup discount program going with details of how to apply. Your freelance finance mastery spreadsheets. So these are personalized to your needs. You find out how to divide your earnings and project them into the future for financial security and peace of mind. That is one of the biggest stresses for all freelancers, including makeup artists. I used to have a lot of financial stress, and figuring out how to work with my money on a freelance schedule so that I have savings, I can pay for my tax, I can actually enjoy my life was vital. And this is how I did it. You've got the What the Heck Does That Mean glossary. That's the Ultimate Makeup Artist Industry glossary. For any confusing terms that you may not know, you can check that out. And you've got your pro YouTube playlist. These are curated playlists of the absolute best pro makeup content for your ongoing education. There is a lot of rubbish makeup out there on the internet that is not beneficial to you as a pro artist. There is a lot of influencer type makeup that, again, is more of a consumer facing thing. It's not pro content. These are all pro content that's going to elevate your skills. You can just get lost in those. This is how it looks when you're logging in online. You can see on the top left here, your various modules. Once you click into those modules, you will then see the various lessons within that module. There's video content. It tells you how long the videos are. There's PDFs. There's files that can be downloaded and so on. They'll then pop up in video windows for you to watch. Various guides that you can download, and they look kind of like this and so on. Very easy to navigate. As you go through, it will let you know what you've completed, and when you have completed the whole thing, you get a lovely certificate as well. So just to wrap all that up into a nice neat package, this is everything that you get in the business of freelance makeup artistry. So again, that's kind of the beauty of me doing it online, is that I can take all of those individual things and just dump them into one big package. But you can see there at the bottom, the total value, if I was to split it all up and sell it individually, is $1,485, but the regular price is $495. That's the price we will be heading back to, but right now it's $349. So that is the lowest you're going to get it for. That price is ending at the end of this launch. So and would that be a couple of days from now, it will be going up again. So if you want to get it for a steal, that's why I always do these relaunches before the price goes up, so everyone can get a good deal. I always try and keep it affordable. I think compared to most other makeup courses, it is anyway, but I appreciate that, you know, when you're earlier in your career, or if you're looking for help with your career, that finding 350, 500 pounds sometimes isn't that feasible. So I also have a 6 monthly payment plan for people. So that is, at this price, that is £59. So once the price of the course goes up, your payment plan would stay the same. So £59 a month for 6 months. There is also a package that has one of the one-to-one portfolio reviews as well, which is also discounted at the moment. Again, that will be going up at the end of the launch. But you can see there, lifetime access. The price will never change for you. You won't be charged anything more. So we've got a little fast action bonus. This is for today only. The first 10 students who sign up during this webinar, you'll get your own golden ticket Q&A. So I do those every time I do a webinar. The first who sign up, I'll get in touch with you. And basically, this lasts for as long as you need it to. You don't have to do this straight away, but I will do like a voice note conversation with you of your 5 biggest questions. So the 5 things that you're most struggling with, I will discuss them with you over Instagram until we have got right to the bottom of them and you're happy and can move on to the next level. We go through all sorts of things in these Q&As, a lot of which then kind of reflects in the content on my Instagram, because I always like to speak to you about the stuff that you guys are actually asking and the struggles that you're having. So any of your own struggles that you're having, I can't do one-on-ones with every student. I have over 500 students on this course right now, and that's always going up. So I do one-on-one things, portfolio reviews, which have a certain cost attached to them. This is the next best thing. So for the first 10 of you today, I'll be giving you one of those. So kind words from lovely students. It makes my heart sing when I get these messages. If you do sign up for the course today, send me your own, let me know how you're getting on. There's literally no course or support like it. I've learned more from your course than probably my 5 years in makeup education. I hear that quite often. One there where someone said they did all the tips in the course and they're fully booked for the first time in their career. I mean, what more could I ask for? Literally can't thank you enough. I was stuck in a rut of starting to get out there, having a good book, but no idea where to progress from here. This is literally the perfect course for where I'm at in my career now. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I love getting artists unstuck because I know what it's like to feel like you're just like paddling and not going anywhere. I've told so many people that this is possibly the best money I've ever spent. I've one lesson left and I won't start it because I don't want it to be over. It's never over. Lifetime access, guys. You can always go back to the start. A lot of people do that. They go through it all and then they go back to the beginning and make notes. The sun is hitting my face in a weird way. I just had to close my curtains. The sun was in my eyes. This was a student saying that since the course, they've signed with a cool agency and have some very exciting projects ahead. Yay. This is something I hear as well. I've spent hundreds, thousands on training courses and additional courses and even my uni degree, and yours was the most affordable course I'd ever found with such detail. I've given them knowledge that none of the others have. Again, I say that often. I know what my own makeup education was like, and I hear from students time and time again that all of this information was completely missing from their makeup courses, and the skills to put makeup on the faces are a very small part of what it takes to succeed in this industry. Already from this one video, I've realized where I've been going wrong, but I'm so excited to get on the right track. Love that. Whoops. I followed your assistant guide on the right there and just got booked to assist Peter Phillips, my first Milan Fashion Week show today. Over the moon. Thank you so much. And then my screaming response, because that excites me very much. Bottom one there, again, this happens at Fashion Week every time. I get messages from people saying, I've worked through the Fashion Week lessons and I've finally got onto Fashion Week teams because I felt like I was banging my head off a brick wall. Bottom one there, I have my first 2 shows this weekend, which is wild. And I say, yay. So a little more love from other students. This is Elizabeth Marley on the left, great makeup artist. She was one of the students who I said, well, she was the student who I said left a full-time job after doing the course, and was able to build her book and then get with an agent within 4 years, which was insane. Laura said that this is one of the most helpful and comprehensive pieces of education she has ever received, makeup related or not. And Alice said this course was everything she was looking for. She was stuck in a rut, and the course kept her motivated, focused, and reignited a fire in her belly that she'd lost. Makes me so happy. So if you are thinking about this and you are worried about buying something online, I get you. The online space is full of scammers, and it can be quite frightening to pay for things online without having seen them in full. You have 100% risk-free guarantee. It's a 7-day money-back guarantee. So if you do decide to sign up for the course and you get it and you realize it's not for you, you can just come, let me know, I'll give you your money back, no questions asked. I've never had anybody come and ask for it yet, but it remains available. But just to help with that, on the right, there's this little survey I did in my stories a while back, just asking my course students, since taking the course, do you feel it's allowed you to earn back more than the price you paid for it? And 76% of them said it had. The 24% who said not yet, I spoke to them, a lot of them were just still working through it. They hadn't had a chance to put anything into practice, but the vast majority said that they had more than earned back what they spent on it from working through the course. So for me, that's an investment I'd be all right with. So some frequently asked questions just before we move on to the Q&A. Does this content work for students outside of the UK? 100%. I have students everywhere from South America to Asia, students in India, Canada, all over Europe, all over the place. There is a little bit of UK focused content, but it's very minimal. And whenever there is, it's usually just examples of things which can just be switched out for you. For whatever's relevant in your country. The most specific part is the rate guide. And as I say, on the course, there is a whole part in there about international rates. So I surveyed hundreds and hundreds of people, makeup artists, on various rates, and any outliers where the rates were a lot higher or a lot lower are included there on how you can use percentages to kind of make that rate guide work for you. How long do I have access to the course for? Forever. As long as it's up there, as long as I'm here, the course is yours. So anything that's added over time, you get access to free of charge. What type of makeup artistry does the course cover? I did mention this earlier, but just to drum it home for you, it is fashion, it is commercial, so like advertising, celebrity, and like private client and bridal stuff. Will I get personal feedback on the course? As I say, I have way too many students, unfortunately, to do this. Every now and then somebody will come to me and they'll be like, I built my website. Can you have a look for me and tell me what you think of it? I just can't. I wish I could, but I do offer a portfolio review service, which is a really in-depth one-on-one service with students that basically overhauls your entire website and book, levels it up massively. That's the one-on-one stuff I do, but my DMs are open if you have questions. I can't usually go as in-depth as I do in the golden ticket kind of situation, but I'm always here to answer your questions. I'll never leave a question unanswered. How long will it take to complete the course? Up to you. Some people binge it and they get through it in a week. Some people work through it over a year. Totally up to you, however long you want it to take. I mean, if you did want to binge it, I would say you could get through it in a couple of days, but you know, completely up to you. Certainly you won't be working on it for 4 years like a degree course. It's there for you whenever you need it. You may also decide that some lessons are more important to you and you want to work on those first. That's fine. Up to you how you work through it. What will I be sent and how do I access the material? So you will get a link, which is a sign-in link for a platform called Thinkific, and Thinkific is where the course is hosted. Once you've got that and you've got your own password sorted, you can just sign up to Thinkific. And as long as you've got internet access, all that will be there for you, whether you're doing it on your phone, your computer, someone else's computer, etc. Any links to anything you need to download is in there as well. Your progress gets saved. So it's all on that platform for you. Okay. You ready for a Q&A, guys? Let me shut this down. I'll see you back on Zoom.